Hello, Miami. This is 205 Sports Now, your home podcast and channel for all things Miami sports related. I am Will. And for those of you who stayed up last night to watch the Miami Heat game, what a great game it was. I mean, unbelievable. Jimmy Butler is definitely a playoff caliber mega superstar. Okay, I don't care what anyone says. And thank you for those that supported the video that I shot last night, in which I was like really exhausted, but thank you for the support and thank you for watching it and so on. But tonight, or today actually, we're talking Dolphins. All right, we're talking Miami Dolphins as it is draft night. Now, we know that the Miami Dolphins do not have a first round pick because of what happened with Stephen Ross in the whole allegations laid out by Brian Flores in the offseason, in which they lost a draft pick, especially the first round draft pick. But there has been some talks about the Miami Dolphins needs, and there's stuff that the media is saying. There's a lot of interpretation of who the Dolphins will pick, for the 51st selection in the second round. Like, for example, Fox Sports has the very talented plug-and-play offensive tackle from TCU, Steve Avila. Others have even talked about the Miami Dolphins possibly trading up and getting the very talented tailback out of Alabama, Jahmyr Gibbs, all right? But if you look at the thumbnail and you're familiar with Georgia football, you know who I want. And that man is Darnell Washington, all right? Darnell Washington is a 6'7", 269 pounds, former basketball player as well in high school. So he's a two-sport athlete in high school. Very talented tight end from the University of Georgia. He has an 84-inch wingspan. In the combines, he ran the 4-yard dash in 4.6 seconds. 31-inch vertical leap. Amongst tight ends, he had the fastest shuttle time at 4.08 seconds. This guy is an absolute athletic freak when it comes to size and even speed for someone as big as he is. He is definitely, a pretty good tight end. He only had 28 receptions last season for 454 yards, but he made each and every one of them count, averaging 16.2 yards per reception and 2 touchdowns for the year. So one of the reasons why I really want Darnell Washington is because we lost Mike Gesicki and we lost Hunter Long. So we need a tight end. Okay, let's be perfectly honest. We need a tight end. And I do believe that although we also need a tackle, Darnell Washington can be the best of both worlds. He'll give the best of both worlds. The reason why is because he's improved in his pass catching skills. He's a pretty good pass catcher. You've seen some of the highlights, or just look up Georgia football. Super physical, all right? Extremely physical. He is a guy that will impose his will with the football, or if he's going to drive a defender into the ground. If you guys remember the highlight, the poor Oregon defensive player who was being dragged, for a few yards by Darnell Washington, the first game of the season for Georgia when they crushed Oregon as well. So he can block. So if you want an offensive tackle, you have the best of both worlds here, because he can block, all right, and he could also pass catch. So what he could do is that he could be the extra offensive lineman in the running game, or in swing passes or bubble screens and so on, and be able to spring the either the wide receiver or the running back, whoever has possession of the football, to be exact. So for example, he blocks a guy on a counter play or a sweep, whatever the case may be, and he's going to take that guy down. It's additional yards. So, but if you want to use play action for that guy, for Darnell Washington, he's also very good at being a pass receiving, so he can catch the football in a play action situation. A red zone threat as well, because he's immensely tall. His vertical leap is really, really strong. He's a former basketball player, so that helps you out a lot in terms of your vertical outlooks. Again, he can catch the football as well, he can catch it over defenders as well. So he's a threat in the end zone for the fade, all right? He's also, if let's say like what happened a few times last season towards the end of the season, where teams are starting to figure out how to cover the speed of the Miami Dolphins, i.e. the Los Angeles Chargers game, where they had Waddle and Tyreek Hill pretty well contained. On third and mediocre situations, you can give Darnell Washington the football, and he could drag you for a first down. So he's a guy that could move the chains if the chains need to be moved, because you can't always go vertical all the time. We know that. And eventually, the NFL, they study you, and they will find out what you're doing and make it very difficult for you to do it on several occasions over and over again. So what I'm trying to say is that Darnell Washington is an excellent replacement for Mike Gesicki. I personally felt that Mike Gesicki was not utilized correctly by Mike McDaniel. I felt that Mike Gesicki could have been used as a wide receiver if you didn't want to use him as a tight end in those situations. because Mike Gesicki is very athletic, so you could high point the ball and you can catch it over anybody as well. Had very good hands, and again, in those types of short yardage situations on third down or second down, when Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle were not available, Mike Gesicki could have been that guy to go to. Okay. And or if it is like 34 and you want to run the ball, you can't because it's Mike Gesicki. But guess what? Now you can with Darnell Washington, because Darnell Washington can give you, those tough yards, and he can also help you in the running game as well and spring the wide receivers and the running backs as well. Okay, so that's what I like, about Darnell Washington. He's absolutely the perfect tight end. He will be a great get for the Dolphins if they're able to get him, as the 51st pick in the draft. So, okay, so if you want to go with needs, again, you could address the tackle situation later on in the draft. You could even fix the running back situation because of the rumors of Dalvin Cook coming to the Dolphins. Dalvin Cook will be a great addition to the Dolphins. He's a 1-3 back. He could run for speed. He could run for power. He could also pass catch as well. So Dalvin Cook will be a great asset to the Fins. But then again, if you don't get Dalvin Cook, and you get somebody else, in the later rounds, again, Mostert and Jeff Wilson, if you look at their yards per carry, they're actually pretty solid when they were given opportunities to run the football. What that means is that on several occasions, Mike McDaniel abandoned the running game a little bit too early. We saw Mostert pretty much maul the Buffalo Bills, and he's capable of doing it again, and Jeff Wilson would be more of the power back. So we do have a combination of running backs that could get it done if we do not go that route in the draft. But we probably will, whether it's through trade with Dalvin Cook or if it is drafting somebody else in the draft. But if you don't get, Darnell Washington, we never know what's going to happen tonight or what's going to happen later on during the draft period. If you can't get Darnell Washington, that's okay. Then you can address your needs. Then you can go for the Avilas. Then you can go for, the running back. You can pick a tight end in the later rounds because the best player in that selection was not available to you. And if Darnell Washington is available, you get him. Okay, you get him. He will be a very, very important figure in your franchise for a very long time if you get him. Okay, so you guys know how I feel. Darnell Washington, I gave you the numbers. I gave you my reasons why. You need a tight end like that, a guy that's physically imposing, could actually even on some occasions stretch the field as well. But in red zone situations, it will be a nightmare for any defensive coordinator. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you like what you heard. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to 305 Sports Now. I am Will. Be safe, God bless, and go Dolphins. Bye.